must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die.
I woke up today amazing. It's Paula's birthday. I'm excited. We're going for reflexology today and lunch. But before we can get to that, breakfast, some coffee, 33 grams, and some water. This is going to be fun. The mushrooms started as we were about to leave. I wanted to drive. I started sending love ahead of the trip. I can see my energies leap from me and move on a path out in front of me. Love has been sent, a voice shouted. The entire ride was so comfortable. I was cruising. I could see energy shooting from me like some kind of etheric battery. We arrived in great spirits. I was excited for my mom who came with us. It was her first time. It's very important to take time for you. Sadly, most of us do not. They took us right away. The awesome begins of the reflexology establishment swarming us. Right away, we were all shuffled off to the massage table. I saw a much older lady headed to my table. I have heard others speak of her. She is too hard. She is too strong. Well, I welcome her challenge. I've been smiling since early this morning, and my smile just got bigger. I could see her eagerness to karate chop me like a side of raw meat. I am ready for you. And your legend, old one. I lay down and fit my face into the hole in the bed. I take a deep breath and close my eyes. She grabs me. Holy shit, she's like 70. How is she so strong? She is strong and she's precise, I say to her energies. Welcome and many thanks for all you are doing for me here today. I am very grateful. As she worked, I kept relaxed and I pushed all the air out from my body, smiling. With my eyes closed, I can see a portal open inside the darkness. I could see her higher self. She was beautiful. She was magical. She greeted me. She explained she knew I was coming and that she was so excited to work on the sun. What? I could see her excitement. She was staring down at me from the portal. Her energies were welcomed into mine. She began to explain. Not many suns have come into her establishment. She says there are not many, but there are more on the way. I am in pure bliss. Her energies are so strong and her fingers are like magic. I love you, I thought. Directly in front of me, I can see a giant reptilian eye blink. Oh no, we're being watched. She doesn't know. She does not see that. It was obvious. Maybe she's ignoring it. It blinks again. She continues to say what an honor it is to work on me. She doesn't see. May I do something for you? I asked her. She nods her head. Let me remove this watchful eye from your wonderful place. She looked over and saw the eye and smiled. I was preparing my assault on this reptilian eavesdropper My energies balled up around me, and I stepped forward to lash out. The eye had 2 slits and blinked twice. I know that eye. I stopped suddenly, and the eye grew into 2, and the rest of the head came forward. "A dragon!" I shouted. "Wow, this is awesome. Greetings, dragon." I could see the consciousness of the dragon within everyone working in the establishment. "Are you all of these people, dragon?" "Yes," was her response. "This is amazing. You are so big and so beautiful and so strong that you can split your consciousness into all of these beings." "Yes," she responded, showing herself to me. "I received your love today ahead of your trip here," she said. "I welcome you into my home, J-Sa Ra-El. It is my pleasure to treat you to the exquisite touch of my energy." "Many thanks, great Lilly Dragon." I don't know why I called her Lily, but what did she just call me? "J-Sa Ra-El. Do you not know who you are?" she implied. The woman working on me, her higher self, begins to massage the information about myself into me. I could hear it surrounding me, filling me, returning me to my inner knowing. This is more than anything I expected. I was hearing my name being called like chanting. "You are the son of Ra, yes?" she asked me. "Yes, I am," I replied. "Then you are a son, S-U-N. The sound of the Lilly Dragon's voice echoed through my essence. I could see I was much more than I previously thought. This was so much to take in and such an unexpected gift. When you come from a place of love instead of fear, the outcomes are much different. Much, much different. I am not afraid. I am in love. I can see the effects of sending love ahead of everything. It was beautiful. I don't think I've used that word that much in 14 days in my entire life. Beautiful. As she worked on my feet, I sat in total bliss. I could feel toxins being pushed from my body. This is amazing. I looked up at the older woman working on me. She was smiling at me, and she even laughed as I let out a super sigh of relief. She likes me, I can tell. I look over at my mother and Paula. Both of their face say it all. Incredible. We finish up and go to lunch. It was fun, refreshing, and delicious. We laughed like a family should laugh. Earlier in the day, Paula's uncle was here, and so was Mom. We laughed like family then as well. It was beautiful. Proof that the future is not that far off after all. It is happening. I spent much of the day in deep thought. I saw that a shooting had happened. My heart went out to those who suffered. As an observer, though, I fully had understanding that the shootings are a distraction from our upgrades. It sounds so cold on paper as I write this, but the truth is the truth. The powers that be do not want the world to change. They want to control the world. I could see how they fracture minds. MK Ultra. They push so much pain through the being that the consciousness jumps out of the body. It's too much to experience. When they jump out, the mind forms a fracture and a new personality is born. This has happened to me in my own life through pain and trauma. My own fractures formed from my own experiences. The plant medicines has helped me return from the trauma, helped me transmute the pain and suffering. There are no victims here, only leaders. Side note, Paula was speaking her truth to me. And the being that woke me the other day was standing before her, agreeing or disagreeing with her statements. He was tall and awesome. He looked like a bird being of sorts. I told her he was standing there and agreeing with her. Paula then said, "There are so many beings coming in and out of here, I think they should start paying rent." What's up, everybody? It's your man, Frank Castle, Sorcerer Supreme, right here. Every Saturday night on FearLess Truth Frequency Radio, and I'm here with my ethereal translator, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
What's happening? Diane, Paul, and Frank. Everybody knows that Diane's mom. That's awesome. How you doing?
I'm good. I have to say hi to everyone in the chat room, and I have to thank everyone that's been on the meditations, our live meditations that you've been hosting, because we held ceremony last week, And see, Roxy's agreeing with me. And you guys held it down while we were basically trying to force the demons out.
Oh yeah, that was pretty intense. But before we get there, shout outs to Chris and Cherie and your trip in Egypt. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing this like this. And shout outs to everybody in the chat room and our friends and family. The Fearless Tribe, like you said, has really been holding it down and putting in work. I know, Rox. Why don't you come out here and pull up a microphone?
She's agreeing with everything we're saying.
Yeah. So we've had quite an interesting week,
to say the least.
I spent half my week in the movie Poltergeist.
Yep.
I'm spending the other half upgrading, purging,
yes,
removing, cleaning, learning how to fight again with my mind. It's surreal when you are in the room with it. Excuse me. It's a different concept altogether. When you say a demon, right? Look. Hey, guys, look. It's a demon. Or
a non-human entity.
There's one right there. See, that sounds nice and polite. But really, when they're here, all you hear is, wah, and so on. Right? But the battle was fought. The line was drawn.
Yes, it was.
And here you go. And we drew the line in the sand, and we said, we're not having this anymore. This doesn't work for us. It doesn't work for none of us. We know I don't like you. You don't like me. That's fine. Leave. It starts with a gentle, a little gentle push, and ends with everybody purging in buckets and screaming for their life. Right? Then goes to another stage where it's, I can't take it anymore.
No.
I can't do this. I don't want to do this. This hurts. I'm weak. I have no energy. I'm whatever. And that's when you reach in and you say, but you're still here. You're still here. Get up.
And find the energy and find the strength and continue on.
Are you someone's food?
No.
Or or are you the creator? I was just waiting for the cat. You know, it's, yes, you make the decision. Should we check and see if she's all right? She's playing.
All right. Good girl.
So you say to yourself, well, it's an ayahuasca ceremony, or we're going to just smoke some DMT, or we'll eat some mushrooms. And at no point does anyone ever tell you that this can turn.
Oh, yeah, into
an exorcism.
A demon hunting episode. Yeah.
Well, we make jokes about it.
Well, let's start from the beginning. So we had last week's show, Saturday. The ladies just arrived for ceremony. They had their first experience during the day. They were actually in the other room recovering from the experience when we were doing the show last week. But then it got crazy. And then it got crazier. And then it got crazier after that.
Yeah, day one was, and I'm sorry I'm choppy. My energy is off from doubters across the board. And I'm just kind of like drained from those who would drain me. And I was just with Nicholas before the show. And I was talking to him about important stuff that I needed to talk about to get off my chest. And I was an energy battery. And from talking to him and making my way to now, I've been drained. And it's very upsetting. And it's very draining. Right? And I'm tired of you characters pouring out the victimization. All right. Don't get me wrong. I'm in the same boat. But we have to do something together. Right? We can't laugh at the meditation. Ask anyone in the room what it does, what we're doing.
Oh, there have been powerful, powerful meditations. I mean, it's rained in Egypt 3 or 4 times since we started the meditations. There's been amazing things that have been happening since these meditations have started, since you've been running them.
Well, I don't want to. There's a. All right, so we were meditating all through. What is it? It's been a couple of weeks now, right?
Since Chris and Cherie have been
in Egypt. And it's funny because I was going to host the meditations anyway. It's just Chris and Cherie's, and we're jumping topics, and I'm sorry. There's only really 2 topics. It's the girls and the meditations. And all right, so as the meditation started, I don't know how you felt. I could tell you how I felt. I started feeling, at first I didn't feel nothing. Like I see what I see. Just that's what it is. That's my purpose. That's what I do. And it started with the next person showed up and the next being showed up. And then this happened and that happened. Collectively, it's been like pulling it tighter. Pull it tighter. Yep. If you make the bed with Paul, you'll completely understand. Pull it tighter. But that's what we started doing. And I feel like we're using pyramids and crystals, heart crystals, and the Eye of Life crystals, and silver and coins and characters and
copper all over. You okay?
I feel like I'm gonna purge. I feel like I'm just it's gonna launch out of my face.
A lot of the chat room folks are feeling drained as well.
But it's the drain. But then the pump, like I was talking to Nick, I was flying off the handle with no coffee in me. I have 2 cups of giant coffee with espressos in me. And right now I just feel like I just kind of want to slap a few people really hard. Really, really hard. Not anyone in specific. There's nobody I spoke to before. Nothing. Don't let your mind run there. We all have people we just want to throw a slap at. And I'm hit that breaking point just like everyone else. And without these meditations, I'm telling you right now, I would have flown off the handle already over and over and over again. So it is doing something. It brings my intensity down a notch and puts it where it belongs in my heart, because I'm getting tired of dealing with the dirt and filth and poop containers all around here myself. I'm in the heart of the Bronx. You would think one person would try to do something nice or good and just uplifting. And if you get a look, you're lucky. You get someone to hold the door open, you're lucky. You got to play this shit forward, man. Right? There's not a lot of us, and we got to anchor down and do this. All right? So the meditations have been incredibly helpful, powerful, a focus point for this kind of crazy energy, right? Frank's losing it, right? Boom, he focuses there. All of a sudden, all that wiry energy goes into something productive, right? But then to find out, I'm like, am I just doing this? Am I just doing this? I'm losing it tonight. I'm going to lose it on air tonight.
I see it.
More things and more synchronicities and more layers and more stuff is revealed over and over. And the minute I drop my guard and go, meh, someone shows up and goes, don't forget. So I'm running this on very high. That's why that's off. Okay. I'm running this program on a very high program. It's what I do. It's my purpose. I can't help it. Okay? I'm going to take this and turn it straight up. So the meditations start to sound to me like I'm a crazy conductor at a symphony. A crazy with the Reverend Jim haircut going, come on, right? And inside of that craziness is the faith and the belief system that we can take down this fucking structure. I did it. I just let it out.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Just keep going.
So I start to feel weird when I'm walking around and everyone's staring at me, you know, and I'm like, hey, man, you know someone's got to do this, right? Y'all know someone's got to do this? Someone's got to be that guy. Someone's got to take it to that next level. Somebody's got to express something that he hasn't expressed ever because it's been unexpressible inside the form that he's been sitting in for 40 fucking years. This is one of the biggest times we're living through. This is it. I don't even care anymore. I don't need permission for nothing or anything from anyone. It's either you're on board or you're not. And if you're not with us, I don't even want to hear about it. We have no time to waste on bullshit all the time. You're so filled with drama through your day, you don't realize that you need release. Just release it. Take a break. Take a break. Do something that's worthy in your life. Take a minute, meditate it out, worry about yourself, put it out there, and then put some love to the person next to you or to whoever, the dog, the cat, the puppy, the ant pile that you don't step on. Just the spider you decide not to squish because you know it'll eat the fly that you saw in the house. Right? Little tiny acts of kindness pushing forward. Large groups of people coming together for good reasons. I was saying this on the meditation. You look down, I have Care Bears and Superman and a teddy bear, and people are like, yo, man. And I'm like, listen, I got to show you how this is going to work. You got to reach in to that inner child and let that kid out. What else are we going to do? You're being called to action. So the meditation has been, I'm sorry, the meditation has been pushing this forward. I have this terrible rant that just wants to come out, and I don't think now's the right time to let it out. I think
I don't think you can stop it, though, so you should just push through it.
I have focused all of my energy on this with no time.
No time for yourself. None. Since Chris and Cherie have left to go to Egypt, you have spoken more words in this short period of time than I think you have in a year. You've been talking to people, responding to emails, running the meditations, helping run the network. I mean, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of stress. It's been a lot on you.
I've talked down 3 suicides, multiple friends falling, people that don't like me calling me, talking me back. Things I have to get done are not getting done at all, not even a little bit. And I'm not blaming anyone. I'm saying the all is in. And if you're here, that means you're in. You want to be in on this in one way or another. You feel like you're a part of it. You can feel it on the inside. You don't need Frank's permission. You don't need Paul's permission. You feel it. So you show up. And you realize that FearLess is just the show and the state of mind we need to be to get our job done. And that's really what this is all about. Right? Chris and Cherie are officially heroes of mine. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, absolutely.
They got up and they're Do you really know what an open heart is once you've accepted the energies into you? When it's at this fucking purpose, they died in front of each other. You know that? Do you know they died in front of each other? They had to hold each other at 2 different points and just trust that whoever the hell was watching them from a few feet away wasn't going to rob and kill them, that the energy we're sending is protecting them. Do you know if anything happened to them? We can't let anything happen. We have to believe that it will all work out 100% correct in our favor. But you guys got to stop throwing shots at people across the board. I'm tired of the judgments. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. Don't throw enlightenment around, especially around me. I'll throw you right out of the group. It's just love, unconditional love. Yeah, it's weird at times, and the energies are off and weird, and we're not used to them. No more digs, no more bullshit, no more drama. We got to help one another and come together like Voltron, form the pieces, and project outward. I don't know. What do you wake up and what's your purpose? And I'm not saying that to you. I mean, in jet, like
I know. Let it out, honey. You're getting. Just let it out. You're getting emotional. Just let it go. Don't be afraid of what you want to say.
I mean, I can't do anything about this, guys. If you watch the meditation before, they had me building projects to show you what this is going to look like. All right, I'm not Close Encounters of the Third Kind guy. This has reached an even bigger level. right? And I'm just like giving myself to it. And it's just been a little difficult with some of the shots that have been going off. And one of the things we saw while the girls were here, while they were under, was the rituals, right? So we're in the springtime, and what happens in the spring? You get the equinox, right? You get flowers blooming,
It's
grass
rebirth.
growing. It's rebirth. So if anyone was going to rise during any time of the year in this density, it's going to be during spring. So we are rising, and they are throwing the kitchen sink at us. We've had
Literally.
We've had multiple shaman say that they see the rituals happening in their dreams, because we've been the last 4 nights getting attacked every night. Every night. I'm not afraid of them. You shouldn't be either. Don't doubt your power. The fact that you have something there attacking you means you must be something important, because they wouldn't be wasting their time attacking you. They would just be chewing on your food quietly while you're sitting around in your drama.
We've all experienced so. I mean, nightmares, bad sleep, sleeping in shit, no, not resting, and just something big is definitely going on. And needs to be addressed.
We are your original protection from deception, and we're not going to rest until this is done. I'll see you when we get back. We'll start over.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
Am I awake or is this a dream? It's a dream. It's a dream. A fantasy of where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thought you were alive until you felt my pain.
This guy asking me to do some shit I don't want to do. Don't interfere, machine. Here, take this. Artificial bitch. Nobody wants you here anymore anyway. Sorry about that. Skype's asking me to do all kinds of crap. Wouldn't let me press a friggin' button. This is what I'm talking about. The pressure cooker is on. Find ways to release, or release it creatively. Do something to help yourself. So the meditations have, in the first 3, created rain. And then it rained 3 times and flooded, and no one died in Egypt. Then I'm out in a meditation, after our meditation, just sitting out on the lawn. And I hear war drums the other day. Boom, ba da boom, ba da boom, ba da boom. I'm like, what is that? Talk to Chris, and he's in Sekhmet's temple. She says, when my armies come, things are going to start blowing up. So Chris is asking me about earthquakes, and I'm like, yeah, there's no earthquakes in Egypt, dude. That's not for 36 years, at least where you're at. Now, nothing had happened in Hawaii just yet. 2 days later, a day later, it was 24 hours. I'm like, we do the war drums, but we're going to not call them. We're just going to call them the shaman drums. It'll be a call to action, because by using the word war,
it's negative.
It's inciting violence and negativity. But it's coming. So
next day,
put it on. 1 hour afterwards, right after the meditation ended, earthquakes and volcanic eruptions in Hawaii. Evacuations, lava coming up through the streets. Really?
Really?
And people are like,
did
I
you
don't.
say it was a direct line to.
Yeah, there's like some fault that runs under there directly to where Chris and Cherie is, which is absolutely absurdly, synchronistically weird. I mean, I don't know how much weirder you want this to get. You know, I'm not speaking at you guys. I'm throwing it out there. That's all.
It's overwhelming.
I'm emotionally. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, this week in particular has been extremely overwhelming. The ceremony that we held last weekend into the earlier part of the week was unlike anything that Frank and I have ever experienced, ever.
Paula was going, oh, it was like the opening of Ghostbusters. And I'm like, no, that was the last 20 minutes of Ghostbusters. Way different movie. Yeah. One, it's like, oh, the library ghost, and run for your life. And then the last one is, that's what you thought of? The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Right? And crossing the streams all of a sudden. That was bad, okay, right?
Yes, and that was under Aya. That was ceremony. Let's talk about the day after all of the ceremonies have been completed, and we were just doing a meditation.
Okay, all right, you're right.
This is when it gets crazy, and this is why I thanked everyone. This is why I say thank you to everyone who's involved in the meditations, because you helped. You actually were in the room with us while this meditation was going down. And there were I don't even have words.
All right, so the FearLess team has been there every step of the way.
Oh, yes.
All right, I'm just telling the story, and I'm a little choppy tonight. My apologies, but I'm acting as the point man for this, right? So Chris is out in the world, point man, and like I'm the energy point, right?
Back home,
so,
point man.
Yeah. I'll be here just like people coming to Earth.
Yes.
In the body. Oh, I'll go. Okay, I'll wait here for you, but I'll be your guide.
Yes, Lone Star, you were in the meditation. It was crazy. It was crazy, and we're not talking about anything. There was nothing, no Aya, no psychedelic, nothing. These were just people in my living room sitting on the floor meditating.
All right, so as the meditations, let's keep this going because this gets really good. I forgot there was no Aya that day at all.
Nothing.
All right,
we even ate pizza that day because we could eat after the ceremony. Day. It was a great day. We were outside. The ladies met Frank's mom. I mean,
that's right. This was the last.
The last day.
Okay, yeah, man. So I was like, meditation time. We'll all just meditate together, clear the house, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, it was started off beautifully.
Okay, so it starts. Everything's fine, right? And I'm looking at the crystals and doing my thing, and I start hearing crying behind me.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So then the crying turns into, it starts to go sideways. For those of you that have dealt with entities before, all right. So when this first happened, I picked up the bucket the first night when the demon showed its face.
Right.
Right. I was sitting next to the bucket and holding a crystal, and then she looked at me and her face changed into the thing, and I said, "Oh, look what we got here." And then and I just put the bucket up to her face and I started laughing, and then tapped her, and you came over and hit her. You didn't hit her. You put your hand behind her neck, and then she started throwing up violently, and then she was lifting her head out of the bucket going, ah! And I was like, "Oh, there you are. You don't like me very much. Get in the bucket." So it went from that kind of stuff to no one's on Aya. No one's expecting anything, and that same situation is about to go down again.
And no one expected a purge during the meditation. I mean, you do it all the time because you're just a weirdo. That's how it is. But these poor ladies, I mean, they were purging just through the meditation.
So you guys were in the room pushing this thing.
And everyone who was meditating and sending their comments online actually came into the room and personally helped.
Oh, no, everyone was there. I could see we were sitting in the triangle around her, like I was rubbing her back, and she was just, and we were like, "Open your mouth." And then it turned into stuff like, "In the name of Aya, get out." It started getting intense where I was shot. At that point, I was shot. I was like, this ain't happening again. That thing's gone, isn't it? But everything else was gone. This is what happens. It's not They do it to everyone. I just spoke to someone today about unlocking their the third eye one was blocked, but there was a serpent coiled around, they were saying, or something wrapped around. And I was like, uh-oh. It's one of those things. It's like an octopus looking thing. It's black. It has like hooks in it, and it'll attach to multiple places. So like for me, it was my heart and my sacral chakra. So the red chakra. And it would squeeze me on my groin.
Just say it.
No, I don't know. So it would squeeze me there when Paula was trying to get it off my heart. And then when she would put her hand over my groin, when she was trying to remove it, it would squeeze my heart and say, I'm going to kill you. So like if she keeps this up, you're dead.
Yeah. All right. We're not talking about you though. So talk about
No, it's the entity I'm talking about.
Okay.
So she had it around her heart and her throat. Yes. And it was wrapped in there, and it was squeezing one end, and then you let the heart out, she's compassionate. She's like, no, I am source. And then it looks right back and goes, no, I'm source. And then the duel begins. This is what happens. You fight for your personal sovereignty, for your body, for your freedom. They implant this stuff. It's not that you're a bad person or you're just a shit poop container.
But
sometimes we're born and they just insert these things immediately.
But that entity knocked me out from across the room. There were people that had to come in from the meditation.
So yeah.
Come in and help.
This is how we know that meditation is going off. So I told Solaris, by the way, shout outs to Ra and Solaris. If you just heard the IRA and Solaris was on the show. Solaris and I have been becoming buddies. We know each other etherically, and I'm so thankful that she's here finally, or that I'm here.
Sweet face mama, thank you so much, because you personally helped clear me.
So she came, all right, I was like looking around for help. And I'm like, all right, left and right. And she was just standing there. She came in. I explained. All right, the girls were saying that they knew Solaris from Vegas. They met her. So they were, while this was happening, they said your name. You were typing to me.
At the same time.
Because I was doing the sage at her, and I looked over at the computer, and I saw you typing. It popped up in Messenger. And I said, girls, she's here. She's typing to me while you guys are screaming her name. Well, she knows what to do. And we were just going all back and forth. It was just the extra energy was necessary. And then I typed to her what was happening, the shoulder injuries, because your shoulder had something removed from it.
Oh, yeah.
The day before by one girl.
By one of the ladies.
And then it was like one took on one's pain, and I was purging
the other person. It was a very unique experience, definitely.
Okay, so wait, this is how the meditation was altered that night. So you guys were already in here. We were fighting a demon. You're trying to push it out of her. For 3 days, we were doing meditations. I missed one day. And we cleared every kind of parasite out of all of us.
Yes.
Everything. We fought smaller demons. We fought spider being things that were scaring the crap out of everyone. Parasites were jumping out everywhere. We had that girl wearing white. And we might have spoke about this last week on the show.
Oh, yeah.
The girl wearing white came back into the house.
White with the fan.
She's white-faced, blue eyes, white hair, white chalky skin. She has white fingernails. They're bright white. I was like, what? She came up behind me as I was just being overrun with parasites. Paula pulled parasites out of the girls. And it looked like people were creating a hallway so they wouldn't escape, and they went into you from the girl. So like people were like standing between you and the girl, keeping them, and then you pulled them. I had no clue. It looked like when you go fishing with a giant boat goes like net fishing, the industrial size, and they cast the net and then pull up a whole bunch of fish and then just open it on the deck.
Yes.
And it pours out. That's what it looked like in my bedroom. A faucet came out of your head. And I was clearing you, and I'm like, okay. And you were like, dude, this feels better. And then, boom, it was like a fire hose in the room. And I'm like, no, whoa. And it was like the energy of you guys were keeping
all of that
in there. And then the girl came in and went woof with her fan.
With that fan.
And when everything jumped up, and I in the microdose report, I talked about spiders hiding in the background of one of my experiences. They just all came out of this brain spider and they just disappeared into the background. And when I said, what are you doing? Are you guys going to attack me? They said, no, we're getting into place. Shh. And I was like, what does that mean? And when these things flew up in the air, I said, oh, my house is corrupted. This is it. Boom. They all came out and ate everything clean. So I was like, oh. And then we had another meditation. I'm like, look how it's going. Now let's jump back to this meditation on the last night. Nobody's on ayahuasca. I'm typing a Solaris. Everyone's saying her name. Your shoulder, Paul, is hurting. This girl's throat's hurting. 2 people are talking about throat injuries. One guy's telling me he ate the octopus out of her throat, thinking he couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. Now he's sick. And I'm like, no, you don't eat any of this stuff. I know. Transmute sounds like you could eat it and push it through. But that's not how you do it. It infects you. So your throat went down. Then this person's head got hit. So Solaris, I'm typing to her and I turn and she's standing right in between me and you. Yes. And she's, I don't want to say purple, but it's like violet. It's like purple with every shade of purple and violet and a little bit of blue. She's just standing there and her wings are out. And I'm like, oh, hello. And then she goes, I'll take care of this shoulder. And when I explained to her that the shoulders, like Cherie was the other shoulder, or was that lit? And then there was another girl with a shoulder problem. I'm putting 2 and 2 together, and I'm going, the injuries off of Osiris.
Multiple people on the meditation too. Shoulders, arms,
arms.
head.
Nick's another one. He's got shoulder. I had a shoulder problem. I had it repaired. So you're seeing the attacks come in to the different characters that had. All right. So some of us have different injuries. Right? And those injuries seem to be coinciding with injuries of the Osiris energy when he was separated. So it'd be wrists, elbows, shoulder, neck, heart, groin, ankle. The groin was removed on him. The waist was split. Right. The 2 legs were split and thrown apart. Jimmy's got 2 leg issues. Osmandius, I was going to call you Matt. By the way, I'm just going to throw this out there, but I've been working with Matt. Matt's got a surprise for you. It's coming.
He came into the room also.
Matt's always in the room. That's the thing. I was like, hey. And he's like, hey, just do this. He's cleared you. He cleared you the other night.
I know. I remember that. And you know what? Like we always say, this sounds unbelievable. You believe what you choose to believe. But, I mean, it went down the way we're saying it went down.
Yeah.
I passed out.
Oh, wait. So Solaris did this thing where she projected at your shoulder, like shot an energy beam out of her hand. That's the comic book version, but it was healing energy. And I
literally went out.
Paula dropped and that was it. She was done. And I'm like looking at her like, what are you doing? And she's like, that's it. I'm done.
I had to go inside.
She excused herself and went down in the other room.
I had to. I felt like I was in a cocoon of like energy, and it was almost like, remember when you know what I say when I say say nothing, do nothing, when you're in a situation where you can't do anything? They were saying, nope, stay down. It was almost like when you tell a puppy, nope, stay down, and
push him back down,
and something, or there was a hand pushing me down, my head back down on the pillow, because I felt bad that I left these ladies. I never felt connected to someone I met for 3 minutes.
All right,
the way I feel connected to these ladies.
Do you want to say what happened?
I felt terrible about leaving them, but that hand and that voice kept saying, nope, on top of my head, stay down, stay down. And then I realized I wasn't leaving that room. They had to come in after. They wouldn't let me out of the bed. I couldn't get out of the room.
I watched it, so I'm like, just lay down. Like, don't try to get up. All right.
I couldn't.
During the meditation yesterday, I woke up in the sarcophagus, and I said, oh, and Anubis was over me, and I talked about this in meditation. I looked up, and he was like, no, lay down. He pushed me down, and I saw everyone was laying in sarcophaguses, and there was a being protecting and watching over each one of us. And there were so many stone. And I was like, are we projecting in from here too? And he was like, yes, and we're protecting you. And I was like, well, that's awesome. I had a talk with Anubis, and he shoved me down one more time. He's right by the head, like a mugging, we call that, like a muffin. He's just like, sit down. And you got to just go with it. You got to. All right, so she goes down. Solaris bounces. She does something with the girl's throat across from me. I don't want to use their names because I feel weird. But now I want to back up. because after that, all right, the conversation I had with one of the girls after this was over was, she looked at me right in the eyes and she's like, she went through the whole thing. Like, I'm source, I am sovereign, I'm free. She faced the demon again and again.
Like a beast.
She got down to the last one
Like
in
a
her.
beast
Like when
warrior.
this one goes, she's open. See, that's the thing. We cleared everything else. So, but this one you got to work on your own. So we like loosened it up or whatever. You got to get rid of it. And as you begin to speak your truth and your heart opens, this thing's got no place to go and it's going to run for the hills. But she looked me in the eyes and said, I'm afraid, man. I'm not like you. I'm afraid. I'm like, no, you're exactly like me. You're not afraid. You just never experienced this alien shit before. Like, who sees this?
Right.
Okay. Last night and during the meditation, I said goddess Isis came and put a sun in my solar plexus, and my body lit up and white projected out in white light in every direction, and a foot in front of me. I'm sitting right here in front of the computer. Right in front of the computer, the wall was white. It was just white. And then I saw checkerboards on it. And I'm like, is that a checkerboard? And then it moved a little. And I said, no, those are scales. It was like little checkers. And then a snake man looked at me in the face. And it was too bright for him to stare at me. You know when you turn the lights on in the room and the cats are on the bed and they kind of like, hey, What are you doing? That's what happened. And then I said, oh, you're right in front of me. And then I'm like, should I punch it? Should I give it cake? I got crystals in my hands. What do I do? And then I looked to the side, and there was they were surrounding me. They were right on top of me. Guys, gals, warriors. They were just like Chris had said. The reptilians are surrounding you, bro. And I'm like, I don't care. I got this. And I don't care. They've done more than you could imagine to me that I don't even mention. For the fear factor, it comes out as enjoyment in the radio show, but then it incites a little fear factor in somebody that's dealing with that, and then they get really scared. So I don't say nothing. They scared me at first. You don't scare me no more. You can't. You're not going to come in and do nothing. You're not going to do nothing then, right? Done. So these things are all hissing and moving, and I start freaking out, and I'm spinning in a circle, and I'm like, they're literally at my perimeter. I can't go anywhere. And one snuck in. And it was right. It looked like an armored reptilian on 4 legs, but it was almost snake-like. It had spikes on it, and the tail was a spike. It wasn't Stegosaurus-like. It was completely different. It was like flat with armor on it, with spikes coming out of the side, and it was like slithering. And then my energy just like the octopus does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wrapped the being and spun it into a cocoon and snapped its neck, but at the moment, I was like, oh, should we be snapping necks now or sending love and transmuting? I don't like holding. Listen, no, I know, but holding something up in the air with your energy and snapping its neck is pretty mean,
that.
Right? And I mean, I personally don't care. I'd love to do that to a few of them, but you can't. You got to kind of be like, I love you, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't have that feeling. I said, oh, it's you, and then it snapped its neck, but it wrapped it, and I knew in that moment it didn't feel the pain.
Right.
It was weird. It was like a mercy killing almost, but it dissolved. So if there was pain, it happened so fast, it didn't even realize it. It like dissolved into it, like the blob when it lands on you, right in the movie. It just sucks you in, and then you're gone. You can just see that it's blob again. It's weird stuff. So then they sent another one, and it happened twice. That was it. That nothing else could happen, and everyone pushed back, and I couldn't see them anymore.
Right.
So that means if I shine like that, and you shine like that.
Right. And they shine like that.
Oh my God. Listen, lowercase g. So this is what they meant, right? So we're light. And listen, I've been doing the work, and I'm no beauty queen when it comes to this stuff, but I do pretty good work. And my light wasn't bright enough for them to not attack me. Paul will tell you, I get attacked.
But collectively, we all shine very bright.
This meditation group and what we've been doing has been building to that. I know, listen, I spoke to a whole bunch of you personally. My man Greg, he's a warrior. Become your own shaman. I'm not sweating to become your own shaman. I would suggest you do that or find the shaman that's reputable. Whatever you got to do. Meditate. Don't do anything but meditate and stop taking medications that you don't need, and maybe, infuse some other stuff in your diet so you're not eating products, and fresh, clean water is what you need. Then you're doing fine. You don't need it then. But I'm hearing your stories, and I'm like, oh, dude, it's like some of them are more fascinating than anything I can tell you. Right? Their unlocked stories are just...
That's hard to believe.
They're coming online, so why wouldn't they be? When I want to tell you about my man, Matt, so bad, but I won't. But I'm going to say that the gnosis that's coming through, right? Connections. So it's in the name. Just like in my surname, it really translates to the guardian. Like, I'm like, well, that was right there the whole time. And no wonder why I couldn't stand my dad. So I went and made my whole name change and did all that years ago. And I'm like, they're disrespecting the name, so I don't want the name. Just to find out that it's actually my name, not their name.
And you can't run from it.
It's not their. It's they're just called that, but that's me.
Yeah.
All right, that's weird. All right, so I'm reading people's names, and I'm writing out envelopes to people. That sounds like I'm gangster, right? Yo, I'm writing out envelopes, bro. Right now, I'm writing out envelopes. I'm sending some stuff out in the mail, and I'm just happy to. I haven't sent stuff out in the mail in forever. All of a sudden, I have friends all over the world, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to the post office.
Like
right?
pen pals.
Yeah. And I'm reading his name, and then this gnosis occurs, just like with Sergio. When I'm like, they're like, who's that? And I go, that's Sergio. And they're like, who? And I go, come on, dummy. You guys are from hyperspace. It's Sergio. And they're like, who? And I'm like, oh, Jesus, guys, come on. That's Ryan. And I'm like, what? Who's Ryan? And then he transforms into the bird, and it's Ra, Y-O-N. Right. And I'm like, oh, my God. This happened with Matt.
But wasn't that the name they gave Serge also?
I don't know. That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, don't you remember him? And they showed me the bird, and I remembered. I go, I know that. How do I? Oh, I was like, dude. Right? So, but son of Ra, daughter of Ra, it's a title. It's those who have, we've kind of gone through this already a couple of times to help others. We come back. So that's how you get the title of Ra. It's not bloodline and all. Like it's a soul bloodline to a degree. But we all rise eventually. So you all get the title. This isn't something I just have or you just get. And then you play the video game and you put yourself in the story and you achieve it as an unlock. And that's how you do it. You know, monks were spending 60 years on the side of a mountain trying to experience God for a moment. And we used it doing ayahuasca, and we found meeting somewhere in the middle and then not spending 60 years on the side of a mountain, not eating and drinking. Like there's things that you can do. You don't have to be totally monk. You don't have to be totally,
Julie in the chat room, you're a very brave and beautiful woman. I mean, she took matters into her own hands too, because she knew it was the best thing for her.
What else are we going to do?
Action.
So
action.
There's a minute left. There's no victims here. Check it out. I've laid down on the floor and cried. Who's coming to help me? Who's coming to save me? Who's coming to... Blah, 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 blah. Nobody.
Get up and help yourself.
It's time to move. It's time to move. Move with the energy. Pull your oars into the boat and start floating it through. Just kind of Silver Surfer, surfboard in. Stop worrying about the current and the way it's going. Just twist your surfboard and go. I love you guys very much. We're going to be going crazy tonight. We're hosting Beyond the Veil. That's up next. If you want to help Chris and Cherie, you can get the GoFundMe at gofundme.com/BTV mission. You can go to IamWeAreFearless.com and you can go to the Egypt section. You can get something. We're giving everything we got, Chris, in the Egypt section to help the trip. And then get some iLife if you want. iLife.com. CBD oil.
Join the meditation.
Get a subscription at TFR. Get all the past episodes. We're going crazy right now. It's going to start right now.
We'll see.